All right. So one thing you can do is you can log in to your emails, so you can access. You're going to need, if you want to practice this as we go through it, log into to your emails and look for your DreamHost emails, because one of them is going to give you the credentials you need to log in through the FTP. Okay. You can just watch, but it might be more productive if you also try to do this as we go through it. Assuming we have files over here, which I don't know if we do. Okay, so no matter which installation you use with WordPress, you can also use FTP to connect to your site and upload files. And we have been using FileZilla, so this is our tool, our FTP client. Do we have FileZilla installed here? No? Let's try. No, we do. You just have to search for it, or at least I do.
No, it is here, yes.
Actually,
Did you type it all the way? I find that you have to type the entire word. You can't just type.
yeah. I just don't know if it's...
Yeah, the desktop app.
All right, so we should have it. Okay. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is, as I mentioned, you need to actually get into your DreamHost account to set up some parameters here. And for that, what you need is to search for an email titled DreamHost FTP only user activated or something along those lines. And this should have been sent to you by DreamHost around the time that you set up your managed hosting for WordPress. And then in the email would look something like the following. So I have substituted my name with XYZ. Your FTP username is now active, and then they will tell you the username. So that's the first thing you need, the username, right? And it's unique for all of us, so I just have a generic XYZ here. Then you need the server name, and you can either go through anaconda.dreamhost, or you can just use your domain name. So for our website, Mario.
Stanley, WordPress, they give you like a username to do the WordPress site, but for me it's easier to just go and create a user that I remember the name and the password right away. That way I don't have to rely on the WordPress user that they send you. It's like always a weird number. So
yeah,
that's something that's
good to know. And in fact, there's thank you for reminding me. So the WordPress shared hosting login information is not the same. It's not even the same username. It's going to be different. So you will not be able to log in with the WordPress credentials.
So you create a user and you give the user like FTP, SFTP, or shell. You got those three options. Shell is for do the GitHub and
right.
And the repo. But what I found easy is to just create a user right away. That way I remember the name of the user and remember the FTP, because you just add.
Here is the thing. You probably use the 5-minute installer.
Yep.
Okay, without the installer, they will create the user. So we have actually two different scenarios. So if you did a 5-minute install, then listen to what Mario said. If you did auto install, they will create the user for you. You will have a user, and this will be the name. So did you check in your emails to see if you found this email? Are you just going to?
I have two, but it's SFTP, and I've changed it since to FTP, so I don't know. But I mean, you're just talking about accessing through an FTP site.
Correct.
I can log into my FTP site. So
all right, but you also did the same as Mario. You ended up doing the 5-minute, didn't you?
Okay. You have the same. This is the same. But
You guys have the same.
But she knew the user already, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But in any case, you will if you have this email, that means your username is given to you. You have a user already created by DreamHost, right? Or if you don't have one, then you can follow what Mario said and then create the user. And in the FTP server name will be the same no matter what scenario. So it will be either your domain or your, like I said, an account of DreamHost. And then it's going to give you some information. So if your domain was registered recently, you may not be able to connect immediately. That should not be a problem for us. And once you connect, you'll be placed in the home and then the name of the user directory, right? And Mario, feel free at any time, or any one of you, I know a lot of you have been actually doing this. Please, yeah, keep on adding information. All right? And then if you have a subdomain, you should use a subdirectory. And I think this is what Mark did last time. He showed you how you can install another instance of WordPress in a different folder. And you can upload your files there, and you have another site running in a subfolder. So the way that without the install, you're given a username and the domain name, but you're not given a password. So you have to go in to set up your own password. And when you log in, to set up your password, you click here. I think I just... So I think the reason they separate them is because the FTP is more powerful, so they want to have a separate username and password. So once you log into this DreamHost panel, then you will be allowed to set up your password, and I think this is where Mario probably added the user from this screen, right? Yeah. So you can add the user here as well. So if you already have a user, then you have the user and the username, and then you can click on the edit button to create your password, right? Are you guys doing this or not? Okay, so just wait a few minutes for those of you who are trying to log in.
So this, when it says new password, this is...
So this will be your password to use every time you use the FTP. So actually I made it the same as my WordPress, but that's probably not the best practice. It's just my site doesn't have anything I'm too concerned about if somebody goes in. Sorry? Yeah, if you go to the panel. Do you hear a different one?
Yeah.
What was? Do you like it? Yeah. You like it? Yeah. Okay, and it's free. Yeah, it's free. Maybe you can post the link to this in the discussions. You're looking here, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Right, so, yeah.
One more thing, when you create the users, you can assign the user different type of capabilities, different roles. Like I'm working on a site, like I'm the admin person, and then other people are like editors, and other people are like content users, exactly. So that's the thing about creating users.
That's right. So we do have actually a lecture about the different user types. I don't know if you're here, but yeah, so that's where we can get the different types, and you can assign those roles. Okay. And you already have this.
Yeah, I did this last time because of some other problem.
Okay. And you already have done it, obviously. So. All right. And after you set up your password, and you save the changes, and then at this point you'll be able to go to FileZilla so that you can connect, right? So in FileZilla, you're going to have a new site, and I just wait, since that's getting recorded, I didn't want this information. But your host name, so for example, mookhouses.com or whatever the name is, FTP. So it looks like they want us to use FTP. I haven't looked into it, but I don't think we can use SFTP as far as I know. Do you know about this?
With DreamHost, oh no,
I
what's
think it's
there?
FTP.
No, with Dreamweaver. When you do the Dreamweaver, you can they like you to practice as a otherwise
FTP.
FTP.
FTP, and then your logo has to be normal, not anonymous. And then you put your username that we just looked at here, and your password, and then you should be able to connect. And these are the steps. And then if your connection works, then you will see, I don't know if you can read this, but it's going to tell you that your listing is successful. And then here you will have a listing of all the files on the server, on your web server. So that's how you can get to the files instead of through the UI, through the FTP. Does this make sense? All right. And we are going to work with this when we start making our templates. But for now, just wanted to show you. And then next time on Wednesday, Mark is going to continue talking about the thread he had going, which was to install from scratch. Okay, any questions? No?
I have a question. Maybe it's I don't know. But with WordPress, how come when we make changes on WordPress, those go live automatically?
Well, you can do a preview. You don't have to. When you click update, it's going to go live. But you have an option to click on the preview button, and then you can preview before it goes live. Does this make sense?
It does make sense. So learning this, what we just did with FileZilla, is that for where you use a non-WordPress site? Or?
Okay, so you have to separate the concerns between using the UI versus using the FTP. If you put in with the FTP, you upload the file and it will be there. But with the UI, which is essentially a layer on top of the FTP, with the UI, we have an option to say preview before you update and then abandon changes. I can show you if you want to. Yeah, I guess set and then.
So when you do update via the UI, does it change the files?
Yeah, because otherwise it would not be able to show live, right?
Okay.
But you can preview, and then if you don't like it, you can abandon.
But the FTP is when we get to the point that we build our theme and we'll be updating it. We'll go to WP content, the theme folder, and we'll be updating the files in that theme. We won't be using the theme right here. We will be building a theme,
right,
and FTP and the CSS and the PHP into that folder that we will build. That's why
right.
We're building things in WordPress?
Yeah.
we're building our own.
You write the code for it, it becomes that thing.
Exactly. Like most people, like web developers, they design themes for WordPress. They don't use the theme right here. That's what we're doing in the class at some point.
That's where my question kind of made sense. That's where I was coming from with my question. Was the so for example, our next assignment is to add specific content.
Right.
So you can also add that in the inner UI on the pages. When you update there, that doesn't necessarily put in files, right? Like, if you
Well, the content would go in the database. Well, it depends what it is really. Certain content is going to go in the database. The structures of the pages, such as the templates, for example, they're going to go into those PHP files where you can actually upload through the FTP.
your custom theme, basically.
Your custom theme, right?
Okay.
So this is the structure of the WordPress.
But content
right.
wouldn't go there, right? That's where I get confused, because you could technically put it directly in the page, like where you put your short tag for your
Right.
your widget or whatever.
So, I mean, it just depends. If you make some changes to the CSS that is going to affect how it looks, if that's written, you can write the CSS to the theme. So you can do everything essentially directly with the code,
Right.
or you can do it through the interface.
But one doesn't update the other necessarily.
Well,
I'm
if
trying
you-
to ask, like, if we start the
Might.
web page with the pre-existing themes,
Right.
but then we want to continue using this page but take away the pre-existing themes, can we write new themes, like our own theme over
that's
the
the same
pre-existing theme?
You can even upload your themes to the WordPress, marketplace, and it's the same thing. They're going to be zip files written in PHP, HTML, CSS.
I'm more meaning like when you use the interface and say you added a paragraph.
Right. Where does it
That's
go?
not gonna, it's gonna be there on your account.
In the database.
Yes, but it's not gonna be like in your hard-coded page.ph, whatever the page is. Like
Like
it's,
hard-coded.
So you mean if you switch to a different theme, like the content will stay there?
Yes.
So that would happen, every team has different content.
right. I'm just saying.
Now, I mean, your
You
user
should be able
content
to
will stay,
just
right?
continue and have the content stay.
You know what I mean? The user content, if you wrote hi, I'm Stein, is going to stay in every theme. So we're talking about a couple different things.
But it's not gonna be in the file. It's not hard-coded in the file. I guess I'm just
No,
making
it
more.
probably should not be hard-coded in the file.
Okay.
Because the templates are going to contain the code for the structure
Right,
rather
so
than the
that's,
content.
so you want, so it should be written where that's the structure, and then your content's all done through the UI.
Pretty much,
Okay,
right? You don't do the content through the backend.
okay.
Let's see here. I am. I believe I am. I try to record it unless it fails. Okay, so Liz and anyone else. So for example, here, if I say hi, then if I click update, it's going to update. And when you go to nookhouses.com, it will be there. But if I wanted to just preview the changes, I'll say preview changes. And then if you don't like it, you just don't click update, and then it will not be saved, right? So this is just the preview. And then if I don't like it, I'll just navigate away from it. Right? Okay. Any other questions? I guess I feel like when we start making the themes and then you see what goes into constructing it, it would probably help understanding. And in a way, I'll need to explain that to answer your question better, but we're going to do it in a couple of weeks anyway.
Okay.
Right? So for now, let's, I know everyone wants to get to the coding, but we have a couple more UI topics to cover. So let's talk about how you're going to add content to your site through the UI. And your homework will be to add content and valid specific requirements as to what type of tags to use and so on. So let's talk about how all the different options. It's very easy, but there's just a lot of it so that you know how to do it. All right, as we talked before, the difference between pages and posts. Pages are information architecture and structure, not chronological, whereas posts most likely will be chronological in nature. So those are two different ways you can organize your pages or your site. Oh, and also with the post, you can search with different categories, with tags, or browse through the archives. Okay, so now if you like, you can open up your, if you haven't already, your page, and then you can try playing around with all these screens that I'm going to show you, and then make changes and add pages, posts, change your permalinks, and so on. Or the other thing we can do is go over the lecture and then give you time to do this. Maybe that's better. What do you think is better for you? To go slower so you can do it alone, or go over it and then let you do it?
Go over it and then we'll do it.
So everyone can work on their own. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Okay, so to add a post, so here and here, so everything, most of what we're working with is on the left sidebar. You can add a post, and then you can add a new post, and then it's going, after you add it, you're going to give it a title, and it's going to show here under the different posts. Did I add you as author? Is this you, Sophia? Do you remember? Did you add something?
No, I had something on my other list.
Okay, I just somebody added it, and I don't know who. It's fine.
That's just,
Oh, is this the default? Is what it was? Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, because I don't remember adding it. All right, so this is just the default setting, and then after that, then you can add your post, the title, and that's the body of it. You can specify the format, and again, you can preview before you publish.
And so say draft is kind of, so like if you preview it and you like it, but you don't want to publish it.
You can save it as a draft. Right. And you can save it as a draft even if you didn't preview it. And like for each of these subcategories, there is even more. So when you play with it, maybe you can drill down further to see what kind of visibility there is and so on. Okay, so WordPress is going to create a permalink, which is the link to your post. And you have an option, if you like, to edit what is called the slug. So you can make the last part of the post with a more user-friendly name, or just give it a specific name, which helps, among other things, with SEO, right? So you can change this here if you like. And this is what I have to show you about the post. So now we're going to talk about the body. And this is also the visual versus the text is going to apply to the page as well. So you might have noticed that there are a couple of different tabs you can switch when you work with WordPress. One of them is called the visual, the other one is text, and the one that is called text is really HTML. So you can switch between the two, and depending on what you are doing, some things are accomplished easier through the visual or versus others with the text. What is easily done with the visual? For example, adding links. So you probably have seen here, you have a link or unlink, and then they'll become active when you highlight them. If you click a link, you're going to get a dialog where you can apply the URL, and then you say apply, and then this particular word that you have selected is going to become the link on the page. And so we would call this the title. So when you hover over it, it's going to show the URL. And you can remove a link as well. This is the More button. It is going to, it's a link to divide your posts, and you have the preview and then the additional text underneath. So when you, and then there is the See More, so that's different than More. And when you click on the See More, this is where you see the following, which are, for example, for your homework, you need to have different types of headings and paragraphs for some of your text. So this comes from here. And I suppose I'll go over those, but some of these should be familiar as you see them here. Changing the color underscore, and so on. Strike through. So it's like a word editor. Okay, so this is the styles drop down, and you can use it to format the text, and it's going to map to CSS, which can be further customized. If you want to copy text, you're going to click on the copy text, and then it's going to be a plain text, so the styles are going to go away. This little icon is if you want to remove formatting colors. And then this icon, which is up here, if you ever wanted to add some special characters, then you click here, and then it will show you a table of custom characters from which you can select to insert it into your page. And in the browser, it's going to display the actual symbol, right? Okay, so within the text editor, there are some of these are, as you are familiar with these tags, and there are some that are less known. So here is where you can set your text to be, if you want to have an image tag, or bold, italicized, link, an order to order lists, list items. If you want to format the certain text to look like code. So these are various options. And some that are less well known would include the DL or insert. Delete will make text between tags look deleted, and then insert to make it look like it's a link. Talk about the code. And more is going to read more link than what you saw in the previous section. Lookup is for finding more about the word. And the close tag doesn't work very well, but it's supposed to close and open HTML tag, which you can also do.
Does it work well, like it's inaccurate, or?
It's just not always going to apply. You can try it though. All right, and then adding images, you can add media. You might have some images that you already uploaded, or if you don't, then the dialog is going to prompt you to upload images to your site. So here is where you can say, if you have I have a media library because I have uploaded some screenshots, for example, here for the lectures. But if you wanted to upload something else, then you go to upload files, and then it will just, you need to navigate to the folder and then upload the images that you want to use. And then you'll say insert into post, and then the image will be applied. And you can also create a gallery. So for a gallery, you can select the images. So these are in case anyone in the class doesn't know, I have 4 cats here, 2 of them. And then when you add the images, you can edit details such as the name, because when you click on it, it's going to show. So you can edit this name for a more user-friendly name. And then add the media, and then it's going to add it as a gallery. Okay, so insert the create gallery is going to be on the sidebar of the images in gallery menu. And when you do this,
Is the gallery something that, like, does it create a gallery page on your site, or is it just a way to organize your media?
yeah, so this is it right there. So if you want a more image gallery, then you may want to use a plugin, and I can show you the example of that. But it just has these pictures as a gallery. This is actually on the side.
So the gallery is actually, it's a gallery on your page.
Yes.
It's not like a way of creating folders to organize your media.
No, it is visual. This is exactly what it is. Yeah. So this is the actual gallery. It's not even a screenshot.
And then would you put in, if you wanted to display your gallery differently, plug in into your gallery?
Um, I would add a separate. I would add the plugin separately. Yeah, but let me show you this, and then I'll show you the gallery. I actually have one. And so this is the result, and then when you click on it, it will display the image and the tag. It's just a really easy way to have several, images together. So this is the WordPress create gallery option, and then I think I might have showed you this, but this is the, I think it's IT Huge. I have to double check the name. So Huge IT Gallery plugin, and this one will create, I think, something more what you were asking with controls. So if you want it a little more professional looking, then you probably want to use a plugin. Let's see. So here is the media library. I'm now inside WordPress, and if you say add new, you can either select files or you can just drop them here. And the plugin when you click on the plugin view details, it will allow you to configure. Just a second. Oh, I think I need to select it first. These are the files. For some reason, I can't see where I actually, where you add the images. So let's see here. Why is it not showing? I am under install plugins.
Yeah, you are looking for how to change images.
Yeah, I thought it was under view details, but it's not showing right now.
It's not in the code.
It's not in the code.
So you need to click the install and update now.
Possibly, maybe that's why it's not doing it, because it wants me to update. Because you should be able to just say edit, and it will allow you to make the changes. I don't want to update right now. So I will show you next time. Sorry, it should be here, but it's not pulling it up right now. Just one thing, let me check something here. Oh, I think I know what's the problem, hang on. No.
Yeah, image here.
All right, I'll have to get back to you on the gallery. I don't know why it's not allowing me to edit it. I think it might be because it needs to be updated. Okay. But for now, you can play with the create gallery within WordPress. And actually that's the last. So this is what we cover. Actually, it's a lot of different small items that you need to edit and add in terms of content. And that's what I wanted to show you. And it's 8:25, so I suggest we take a 10-minute break and then we come back. And then I would like you to work through adding all these different components. So you have to add a blog, add content to your page, and then practice, and it will be easier for you when you have to do your homework. And I guess I'll keep on playing with my huge IT gallery to see why it's not where those images are. 10-minute break, please.